Mike Jones here with Ken's. My brother Kenny and I own Ken's Stereo Junction, one in Macon and one in Warner Robins. Let me tell you, you're going to love this brand new show. Awesome custom installation by our Brainiacs, plus Middle Georgia's only in-store service. Let's get inside and check it all out.
Middle Georgia's #1 sight and sound source. Go to Ken.
All right, now for the April specials for the Macon and the Warner Robins location, we have some killer deals. And the reason I always put this segment into the show is because this stuff changes and changes and changes and changes, and prices are always changing. So as a result of that, what has changed is this Sony is an AM/FM CD. It does have the thumb drive. I love the little fancy door they put on here. It has an EQ for sound. It has a 200 watt amp. It has an extra bass button, which is very important if you're you like the boom, is what I'm saying. It's detachable face, and it is nice because with the Bluetooth, the microphone is built into the face. So if you have an old school Jeep where you have an A-pillar that's made out of metal and you can't put the microphone up there, this really works well for that. Now, this has been $149, and I'm sure you're seeing a big crazy red something right there right now. It's $119. $119. Now, AM/FM CD with USB and Bluetooth with the mic built in for $119, and the installation is free. So when you come in, talk about the new Sony Bluetooth radio deal. That's a great deal there. Now, another radio that's done phenomenal for us has been the Alpine. This is called Mechless. There is no CD. A lot of folks say, hey, I don't play CDs anymore. I do, because all my Luther Vandross is on CD. So here's the thumb drive here. It also has Bluetooth and Bluetooth audio, and the clarity of this particular radio is amazing. Now, Alpine has always been known for their clarity, so I carry Alpine, I carry Sony, I carry Pioneer, and Alpine is kind of what all the guys always go back to from a clarity standpoint. Now, this is called Mechless, like I was saying, means no CD. Of course, they make it with CD. If you just go one notch over here, you can get anywhere. Now, this is on sale. You're probably seeing it right here for $199. That is AM/FM CD with thumb drive input. So this charges your phone, or you can put a thumb drive and an aux input, Bluetooth and Bluetooth audio, and detachable face, because I've said it before, the thieves want this more than you want this because they get it for free. So that's one to think of. Now, when you come in, also talk about CarPlay and Android Auto. That is an important feature that I talk about a lot, but I think a lot of people still out there don't quite kind of grasp it. And if you get it and you're probably going, this guy's crazy, then you're not the one that's for this part. Okay, so CarPlay allows me, if you go right here, this is Alpine's new 9-inch, which, by the way, if you look at this price, dropped $300 with this new model. They have been $999. They are $699. Now, this does Android Auto and CarPlay, and what that means is, my phone, this becomes my phone when I plug it into my thumb. I can put this USB in your center console or in your glove box or wherever, and this charges my phone, but it also mirrors my phone. Not Netflix riding down the road, so don't get excited about that part. We don't want you crashing, but it's nice because all my features are nice and easy. I can go to Spotify, it's nice and simple. I can go through all my menus and stuff. I've got my Google Maps built in. Easy to use because all of us know how to use our phones, correct? Right now, come back around. This is still an AM/FM radio, but it's nice, and I don't know if David can get behind this or not, but it only takes up a single DIN hole. Literally takes up a very small opening where it mounts, and I like that because it kind of just floats in the front. And if you've been in like one of the new BMWs, you know how it kind of has that tablet that sits up on top. This is that same idea, but in a 9-inch instead of a 7-inch, of course. So easy to use, as you can see. Everything is instantaneous. It's just simple. Great clarity from this product as well. Now, this Pioneer, I'm just kind of fanning you around here. This Pioneer has all of those same features. It's a 7-inch screen, but you can actually connect without this. So you can actually have your CarPlay mirrored to this, as you see that mirroring come up right now, without having to plug it in, which is really nice for you folks that keep it in your pants pocket or something like that. Now, don't get freaked out by seeing $699 and $749 prices, because guess what? Pioneer now has this newest model called the 211. It just replaced the 201, and it's AM/FM, right? It has an equalizer. It has color change. CD, you got a module that you can buy that makes this a DVD if you want the family to be able to watch a movie while you're driving, or if you have one of those real flip downs, and it's only $199. So for $199 and up, you can get your touchscreen on pretty easily. Now, if you've got an older car that has to have some fancy footwork, in a minute we're going to flip over to a Mustang we've been working on for a month or so, and I'll show you that if you want to make something like this fit in your classic car, or if you want to do something really, really crazy, the insane minds have done that this month. Now, in the world of speakers, and I'm going to shut it down quick, don't go anywhere, Alpine is my fave, and I'm telling you, they have a new series of Type S and a new series of Type R, and they sound phenomenal. I'm going to do these 6x9s this month. I'm going to give you a little sound demo, and listen to the clarity. I mean, they are absolutely amazing. They have a movable tweeter, meaning I can move this tweeter to fire in the locations I need to if it's low in the door like on a Dodge Ram. But listen, these are always anywhere from $149 to $199. We're going to do these for $119 for the pair this month with free installation unless you need some crazy modification. The 6.5-inch version is going to be 99 bucks. And then the Type R series stuff is going to be a little bit more money, but I want you to come in because sometimes you don't have to buy the Type R speaker to satisfy where your music love is, right? So come in and listen to both. You don't necessarily have to spend $200 for a pair. $119 may do the job, and you still get the free installation. In the world of subs, I just want him to I want Dave just fan around this and see these different sub enclosures. You see the 10s, the 15s. You see the real thin enclosures like this, right? You see over here we got the double 12s, double 8s, double 12s. Single 10. The reason I show you this is in both of our locations, I have a huge way for you to choose whatever fits your fancy. A lot of diversity in different sizes, and definitely something that will fit in your vehicle. Some folks need 10% of their trunk. You know, you've seen us do a lot of those cars, and you see a lot of people say, I need 90% of my trunk, which is where a lot of these thin boxes come in. They make it a lot more simple. And we have base packages that are going to come with, you know, an amplifier. It's going to come with a bass knob, a crossover network, cables. Everything with us, and this is where I finish up, everything with us is turnkey. So whether you're a do-it-yourself or not, when you walk in, I have knowledge inside these stores, and they can tell you what fits in your vehicle, what's best for your vehicle, what fits budget, and then we service. 2001 Ford Mustang GT. Now, it came to us already beautiful, and I'm sure you're seeing cutaways of around the car right now, and he said, I just want to put some monitors in my car, meaning TV monitors in his car. Now, a lot of people want to put a TV in the dash, like a 6-inch or a 7-inch in the dash. When we started, well, we put 9-inch on the back of the headrest, as you're seeing right here, but then we went a little further and we decided to do 7-inch in the visors up here. These were custom done by Rogers Upholstery here in Macon. Look at the stitching that matches the seats. The seats are orange, the visors are orange to match, that matches the outside of the car. And then he said, well, I really want the doors to be a little different. So we put 22-inch HD LED monitors in the doors. Larry Rogers also redid the door skins to make it. We built the entire thing. I'm sure you've seen a cutaway right now of Dexter's. He was literally laying by hand all of the fiberglass work in the doors. The doors by themselves took about 14 hours of hand-making work because we wanted to incorporate all the factory switches and door handles and all that. And still with these scissor doors, you have to be able to close the door and shut it all back down again as well. We ran all new cabling. This has video boosters built in, and he controls everything from a head unit in the dash, which makes it nice and simple. So these are still functional visors, 6-inch, 7-inch, 9-inch, 22-inch. He had 22s already on the vehicle. Now we got 22s inside the door panels. This is custom made, and stuff like this takes some time. We've had this car for a month or so because you have to slow things down on something that's going to be driving down the road that has the ability to go to a car show and unfold and have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 HD video pictures. And this, perfection.
Security cameras are important residentially, they're important commercially, and apparently now they're important subdivisionally, if that's such a word. Obviously, we're at the entrance of a subdivision. We see the nice big pillars, we hear all the traffic, but the issue is all of the people in the subdivision are having issues with security. Trucks are driving up, stopping, kids are running out, grabbing all the stuff they can, running back to the truck, and then they're just taking off, and they're just clueless because all the people here are affected. So instead of them buying 150 cameras or however many cameras it is for all of these houses to have security cameras, they just decided to get together and invest in a few cameras. So we have 3 cameras. Notice there's 2 different looking cameras. So we have 3 cameras, 2 of one and 1 of the other. The 2 are just nice wide angles, and you're probably seeing a cutaway now of what the views look like. So the 2 are nice wide angles so we can see everything that goes on at the stop sign and everybody who comes and goes through this little entry, because obviously everybody has to come here who wants to come here, which is a good thing. The bigger camera is a tag camera. So now I have a camera that's sitting here looking at this Escalade that's about to come in, and then I have a tag camera that's literally so zoomed in, and you're probably seeing a cutaway of it now. It's just tags. Like as the car drives by, it just sees the license plate. So now I see the white Escalade with license plate number, yada, 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 yada. And if I have a bunch of people around here who are talking about the white truck or whatever, now I know the white truck, here's the tag number, bam, we got him. Now, all of these cameras are here, but we didn't want the recorder mounted here because it would look really awkward having such a big box. The recorder's actually in this box. So we took conduit here. We're gonna trench this. You see it's still uncovered, so we're gonna trench this in the ground, bury it, so no one can get to our wires. and then they come up again, and they're locked into this box. We have fans here, so the fans will cool our equipment in the summer, because obviously we have very hot summers in Georgia. And then there's actually a heater behind here, and the heater actually will heat up this metal plate, which now heats up my DVR and it heats up my power supply, so my cameras are going to stay warm, my DVR will stay warm, and nothing's going to necessarily get frozen. Now this is going to record for anywhere between 25 or 28 days or so, which is plenty of time, because obviously if something happens, we'll know within 25 or 28 days. And it's, like I said, it's nice and locked up, so these all suction in, so when it closes, it's actually even hard to close it. So when we close it, lock it down, it's weatherproof, everything's, like I said, all rock solid, so no one can come in here and just hack the lines. And even if they did, there's a camera right there looking at you. We got you on camera, fellas.
All right, now, once a year we do this, and this is what we're doing in the month of April on the reference series towers. So these towers right here from Klipsch, right here. For this month, it is buy one at the regular price and get the second one at half price. Now, the most Klipsch allows us to discount on tower speakers is 5%. But if you take the fee I just told you, right, that means a $1,000 pair of speakers, it costs you $750. A $500, and you see where I'm going with it, $500 pair of speakers, it costs you $375 because you get 50% off of the second speaker. So when you come in to the store and you see a $375 tag each, the second one is only $182.50. And I think it's important that you take advantage of this sale. If you've been kind of scratching your head trying to figure out when you were going to do tower speakers in your theater or tower speakers in your living room, if you're a music person, it is an unbeatable sound to get from Klipsch. Now, they are made in America. You know, they were formed in Hope, Arkansas. Paul Klipsch, I can tell you the whole story behind them. They are 70 years old, and in the world of business, to be in business 70 years says a whole bunch. They come with a 5-year warranty, which is unbelievable. And I love the copper cones. I just took the grills off over here so you can see how cool that looks. I have so many of my clients that leave the grills off of their speakers so they can show off their cool stuff. Tony Purvis, Hawkinsville, Georgia. Right now he is probably grinning from ear to ear. He has the nicest theater that I think we have ever installed, ever. Now, when you come in, we have a demo room, right? Each store has its own demo room, and I'm gonna let David back up. I'm just gonna turn this up. I was just telling him about the clarity of these speakers, man. Listen to this. This is nuts.
What's that sound? Come on now.
I'm just letting you know. I mean, I don't know if that can come through my microphone the right way, but I am going to let you know that I think it's the best I've ever heard. So when you come in, listen to our theater. We got a theater set up in each store. We got a sound room in each store. We got a living room type setting in each store, where you can kind of get an idea how this stuff fits in your house. But this is the time to buy Klipsch. Buy one, get the second one half price, and that is for the entire month. Awesome. All right, now Alpine, if you don't know who Alpine is, you haven't been in the car audio world, car audio and video. Alpine is arguably one of the best brands that has ever been. I remember competing with Alpine products, just to give you some idea of my age, 30 years ago, driving all the way to Florida and doing all these crazy contests. It was just amazing. So they've been around the block a few times. Now this is their truck. It's called the Experience X, being like Type X. They have a whole ton of gear. If you get a chance, you want to go to alpineusa.com and check out what they're made of. But now we keep their products in our brick and mortar stores in Macon and Warner Robins. We keep their head units. They have a whole new series of amplifiers, Type S, Type R, Type X. I just did a complete Type R system about a week ago, and I am talking about it was maybe not this ridiculous, but ridiculous. So come this way and let me show you how amazing this is. Now, they did a slew, I use the word slew, of amplifiers that fit underneath the seat. Now, most of the time when you have a Silverado, that is where you put your subwoofer box, right? But if you'll move forward to the back of that center console, they did a custom enclosure with their sub firing backwards. So it's a great idea, because a lot of times when you do a subwoofer underneath the seat, you don't have the depth that it takes for the woofer to move up and down, and that gives that to happen. So now you got tons and tons of power, well over 2,000 watts of power. Now, let me show you something super unique. Come around here, David. If you'll look up into the A-pillar, they did custom enclosures for their Type X tweets and mids, which is amazing, plus the speakers in the doors. And then if you'll get a little cutaway of that dash right there, that is an amazing 9-inch called their Halo series of radios. Now, the reason it's important to know what you're looking at is that radio is full control from Bluetooth audio, and CarPlay. It allows you to put your maps from your phone up to the whole 9 yards, but yes, it's a 9-inch touchscreen. Now, End of the day, when you do a custom job like this, right, you see this thing, look how beautiful this is, I'll give you an idea. At the end of the day, when you do a job like this, it is important to know that we are a trusted Alpine dealer. Matter of fact, they say we're one of their biggest dealers in the whole southeastern United States. And the reason I put that out to you is when you come in, these guys are trained and certified to go through and build a system just like this, right? This is why we have the CNC machine, and that's why we have 5 bays, and that's why we have 7 installers, is so if you dream this big or even bigger, that's what we can do. So the Alpine experience, they brought it to us. We were kind of rewarded and awarded the experience, and guess what? This knowledge we give to you. Awesome. All right, brand new BMW X7. Now, you're probably seeing the cutaway outside. This thing is so beautiful. But the gentleman that owns this has the old heavy foot. He drives, if you're going like this, you get it, right? But radar detectors either can hang on your visor or up in the dash, but some folks just say, I don't like all the wire hanging out and I don't like it hanging from my visor. But Passport, I think they're the best radar detector made. I believe it in my heart. They make a series called CI, Custom Installation. They make 3 different versions. Most of them have front and rear detection. This one just has the front. Now, you're probably seeing the cutaway of the front bumper right now. There are 3 pieces that makes it where you have a much wider array and a much longer distance to pick up when radar is being used on you. What is the distance? 1.5 miles, which is amazing. Most radar detectors go about 0.5 mile, and most police radars go about 3/4 mile, about the max. That's right in that ballpark. There's a bunch of bands. There's X, there's K, there's KA, there's wideband XK, there's laser. I mean, there's a lot of bands over there, and this picks all of those different types of radar that are being used in our area. Now, he said I need to have it all custom installed. So when this right here is the center console, right? And what we did is we took this apart, keeping in mind no one's taking this car apart. It just came apart. So it just came out. So our guys had to learn how to take all these panels apart without doing any harm, which is nice. So here, this allows you to see what band you're on, highway or city, how far away they are based on the intensity of this little meter that's moving, and what the speed limit is and stuff like that. This allows me to adjust my volume, which is super cool, and my sensitivity, which is like highway or city. But then what's cool is if this is closed and the radar starts going off, we also put an LED light right here in the top of the steering wheel. Look how factory this piece looks. It's nice and clean. I'm sure you've seen a cutaway. And this, when it beeps, when the radar is picking up the popo in the radar, this starts flashing to kind of get your attention. Hey, 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 pay attention, right? Which is awesome. What's nice is all of this has been installed, and it looks as if BMW installed it themselves. That's how perfect the installation. Our boys did an amazing job on such an amazing vehicle. Passport radar detector teamed up with our Ken's installers. Perfection. Now, we've got flat panels that start at $149, and they go all the way up to whatever you can stomach when you get into the 85-inch world. And I understand now that there is a 98-inch 4K coming out that's only about $70,000. But anyway, back in the real world where we all live, we want a good TV, we want a great picture, we want the proper features, and really, arguably, the best brands in the business are going to be Sony and LG, Samsung, guys like that. This new Sony and this new Sony are my favorite. They're called the F series. Now, let me just tell you how awesome this is. This is a 75-inch that has 4K. It has all the smart features. I'll pull up a little smart tile for you just to give you an idea. I mean, you can go into all your features, into YouTube, you can go into your videos, your music, anything that you want to get into, you can. Of course, it has multiple inputs for you guys that use Apple TV or any of these other stuff. Roku sticks and all that will plug into the back of it. It's really nice and very simple in its design. But let me tell you, these things have been $2,500 for as long as I can remember for the new models. Now, these are 2019 models, and now they are already for this $700 off of their retail pricing, right? So that is while supplies last, and I don't want that to sound kind of like one of those 1-800 commercials, 2 o'clock in the morning. But the fact is, they're probably going to give me about 20 or 25 of these that we're going to be able to sell for around $17.99. Matter of fact, by the time you watch this, they may go up, but we will stay at our price for this sale for this month. $17.99 for a 75-inch Sony 4K is absolutely unbelievable, and that will start at the beginning of the April sale. So when you come in, just look at all the sizes, whatever fits you. I'm just showing you 75 now. They make them 75, 65, 55. They make them in 49, 43, all the way down to 32. LG makes it all the way down to 22. So when you come in, listen, it's a good idea before you come out and talk to the guys, go ahead and measure your mantle if it's going to go over the mantle. Go ahead and measure your wall. Just get an idea of the footprint. You don't need to measure the diagonal. There's no reason to think of it that way. Just see where we have room from left to right and top to bottom. That way you can make sure it fits in your decor, make sure it fits in your budget, and the guys come out and set it up, and that is well, to me, that's priceless, but it's really very inexpensive to use.
All right, we're finally finished. 3 days later, this was a big project. This whole church, literally this whole church is all concrete, so it took a lot of drilling. There was a lot of mesh. You're probably seeing cutaways now, but y'all, the finished product is incredible. So look at this TV. Just look how big this TV is. This is Sony's 85-inch TV. I mean, this is gigantic. It is humongous, and it needs to be humongous because this church is very deep. There's, I don't know, maybe 20 rows worth of seats back there, so the people on the 20th row obviously need to be able to see what's going on the screens. So our video switcher is going to go through. Cooper's up in the booth. He's actually switching and flipping and going through different cameras because there's a bunch of cameras. Jarvis, if you can go over there to that camera up there. So we put 3 of these PTZs up there, and all of them are motorized. PTZ means pan, tilt, zoom. So they go left, they go right, they go up, they go down, they zoom in, and they can zoom out. So they literally can do anything. But we have so many different things going on up here. We have keyboards here, we have a Leslie, we have drums, we have a piano over there. We obviously have a lot of vocalists here, and then of course we have Pastor. And we don't want it just to be the boring heads-on display of here's Pastor or here's the singer. So we have different transitions, so we can go from this camera kind of looking out, or this camera can see the keyboard, and then we can transition to a camera with the drums, and then we can go to the lead singer. It really kind of pulls everybody into worship because everybody's like, golly, he's really into it. That's really, really awesome. And that's what the benefit of the PTZs are. And then obviously we have the 85-inch TV, so it's unbelievable. Now, that's the video side. Now let's talk about the audio. So they had a center cluster, and these speakers were aimed a little too far back. So this was handling kind of the back half of the church, and they did that because my voice kind of hits the first few rows, so the speaker's going to handle the back side, but it gets old after a while just hearing a voice when everybody else gets the good stuff. Everybody in the front rows wants the good stuff too. So we actually added the Sanctuary Series 15. So there's a 15-inch woofer in there, but it's a beautiful white speaker. So it's a Sanctuary Series. It looks good in a sanctuary. You know, most traditional sanctuaries are white in color and the purpley maroon, everything's kind of elaborate and elegant. So they went with the white speakers, which are beautiful, and they sound, y'all, listen to this. It's actually hooked in with Bluetooth, so from my phone, I can actually volume it up. Before you say, yeah, well that's music, of course the mic sound good too. So now the whole church gets to hear exactly what Pastor has to say. Y'all, this church turned out incredible, but this is really, really cool. This is the finished product. This is what all of our congregation is going to see, but let's give you a little sneak peek at the crow's nest up top. Now, this is the audio video live stream booth. So this is where everything, this is where the magic happens, as they say. So everybody that's down there, or if you do live stream this service, this is where all of this happens. This is our PreSonus mixer, and this was what they already had. So they already had, we kind of talked about that before, a digital / analog mixer. So we kept the mixer, so the mixer's still here. We did, however, beef up the power. So this is 10,000 watts on the 6 speakers that we have. So we have all of our monitors, and now we have 4 bands because we talked about that before. We had the 2 in the middle, and now we have the 2 on the side, which get 5,000 watts. So 2,500, 2,500, bunch of power. That's why it sounded so, so good. Now the biggest improvement is the video. So these 2 screens are our video screens. This is called a multi-view screen. So this sees, like we were talking about, it sees camera 1, it sees camera 2, it sees camera 3, it sees the computer, which is off, so that's 4, and then we have 5, which is their logo, and then 6 is this camcorder. So we actually have everything that you have in one glance. So that if I want to change camera 2, I can go to camera 2 and I can actually change it. And you see camera 2's moving, but the audience doesn't see this. So I can get my view all set up, and then when I switch to it, it's exactly what I wanted. These also have presets. So if I'm on camera 1 and I want to go just zoom into Pastor, I can go with my preset, hit call 1, and it's going to do exactly how we have it set. This is a little bit further away. We have a drummer preset too, so now it's going to zoom into there. And this sees the same thing as the TV, so we can see all of the details. So if this little screen, these are 32, so they're pretty big up here. But if this is just too small to see the detail, you can always kind of come over here and see the detail of whatever's happening on those big old 85s. Now, The computer's over here, so come on down our 12-foot long booth that we custom made. Come on down here, and now we have our computer with our easy worship that someone knows how to use. And then that new Mac down there is what we are using for live stream. So we have a lot of people up here making service happen. So we had to build this big old 12-foot booth, but now everybody has room. I can sit here on my computer, I can see what's going on, I can see what's going on, I can see everything that's going on. My mixer is dead center of the room, so it hears exactly what's happening in the room. That's why we kind of offset video so that the sound can be dead center, so the room sounds best, y'all. Central Union Missionary Baptist Church, awesome. Live stream them, you can come here, you can live stream, they got it all going on. Check them out.
Right, thank you for watching our show. Listen, it's a privilege to work, period. It really is it's a privilege to do what we do for a living, and I've got some amazing folks that work for me that are entirely invested in making sure that your hard-earned money is spent in the right spot. We do custom installation. We have brick and mortar stores that are owned by a family. We're in 41 years. And I put that to you to say, look, you can walk in our store and buy it and take it home and do it yourself. Or I've got trained technicians. And when I say trained, I put it on them, man. I make them get education. I make them have certification. You don't work here unless you have some knowledge. And you're not allowed to even put your hand on a screwdriver until somebody teaches you how to do those things. And the reason I put that out there to you is because I back it up, right? Everybody, you know, if you're in the church or security world, you get a 2-year warranty right out of the gate at no charge. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4-year warranties on flat panels, and that's because I have my own in-store service. I'm sure you see in a cutaway of that service department right now, it's packed full of stuff that gets hit by lightning or stuff that just goes bad. I had a guy come in the other day who wanted to get his Sony TV fixed. He says, look, I love my Sony TV, I want to get it fixed. I said, well, it's 16 years old. Do you think we should get a new one? He goes, absolutely not. So we're trying to find the parts. You know, it's like going back in time, right? So it's cool to do what we do. You'll see our social media right here. This is all the stuff that you can go on and see all the neat things that we're doing. I'd love for you to follow us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram just to see. I'm constantly throwing pictures in there of all the cool things that we get to do. Also, my phone number, you know, I give this to you as much as I possibly can. I want you to call me and tell me if you've had a great experience. I want you to call and tell me if you didn't have a great experience. So that way I can make it a great experience, right? Also, kensonline.com, www.kensonline.com is a brand new website. It should be fired up about now, and it's going to have all kind of neat stuff about what we do and how our world is constantly changing. So please be a part of that as well, right? Well, I got to say this the right way because I don't want to say it the wrong way. In 2 Timothy 3:16, it says, all Scripture is breathed on or out by God and is for teaching, it is for discipline, it is for training, it is given to us. I have never found a question in my life right now today. I have not found a question. If I had a question about a decision I need to make or how I'm supposed to handle something or how I'm supposed to love, anything, doesn't matter what it is, I open that Bible and I can find an answer. Even in my hardest times before I loved God, when I went through a divorce, a really bad part of my life, I opened that Bible and I found answers. And I'm letting you know, I'm putting that out there to you. I hope that you will invest in it like I've invested in it because it completely changed my life. Come see us at Ken's in Macon.
First, you have to know how to use an iPhone.
Okay, knowledge of iPhone.
Yeah, and then it'll pull up on the screen.
Then knowledge of the radio.
Yeah.
And if I have knowledge of Nathan, if I don't have any knowledge at all, how do we make this work?
You don't.
Okay, so where's the 8-track tapes? You remember for the longest time they were looking for the Hope Diamond? I found it. It's the shifter for the new BMW X7. Is that crazy?